cadets take part in a variety of neat activities, and one of the newest, and in my opinion, one of the coolest things, is the brand new cadet radio station, where they're getting tons of hands-on experience.
You've been listening to CLTC 92.1, The Hawk. That was the Imperial March. Last year we were doing little podcasts, and I was the assistant manager basically at that time, but I couldn't help much because of the timings of my job. But this year, when I was the only one that knew anything about the radio equipment and I was going into college for radio, I basically helped with the project and took full steed of being the staff cadet in charge of it.
Well, I can't really express the feelings and the joy that it is to actually go on air, and the first time that we went on air, and the excitement that was with everybody because we were actually on air. We were broadcasting. So that excitement just permeates all through the entire training center, and everybody gets really enthralled with it. It's almost like Canada in the Olympics, but in a very small version. It's the same feeling, and that's what we want. We want to create that excitement. We want people to get involved. We want these young cadets to have that extra experience that they're getting here as a result of that. The PAFO here, the Public Affairs Officer, wanted to do some podcasts on that, and I took it from there and said, well, why don't we do a full broadcast and start a radio station? And that's where the idea started. So last year, we started the radio station, but we weren't able to broadcast. It's taken me a year in order to get the broadcast license, which that has been granted under a special section in the license, and we are officially 92.1 FM.
CLTC 92.1, The Hawk.
Right now we don't get much farther than the school, but we are working on it. So it's a lot of officers that, as they're working, they'll tune into us to hear what we have to say. And we're hoping that later they're going to be able to have like all of Cold Lake listening to them for 2 hours a night and hearing how the cadets are doing.
This is fantastic because the cadets are now able to broadcast themselves. But what the really important message of that is they start to understand the importance of what they do, in that what they do either on the net or on Facebook or on different other types of media, that they have to take responsibility for what they're doing. And that is really the message behind it. Let alone there's no other area in which these young people will have the opportunity to have a taste of broadcasting. So we're hoping that from that they'll go into the field. Maybe it's an engineer, maybe it's on-camera person or whatever, but it's another outlet that they have to enjoy.
Each cadet has their own job, so like, especially for the basics, we go off their personalities and what we think they'll be best at. And then for the instructors, they usually get to try and choose if they're sports, weather, entertainment, news, and then the illustrious DJ that everybody wants to be.
We're really pleased because what had happened is that at that particular time, we had the CF-86 aircraft come in, and that was the Golden Hawk, and that was flown by Lieutenant Colonel Dempsey. That made such an impression, all the cadets here, they decided to name the radio station after the Golden Hawk, or Hawk 1. So 92.1, The Hawk, is specifically named after that fantastic F-86 aircraft that was part of one of the very first team aerobatic aircrafts in the Canadian Armed Forces.
I think that for them it's really cool because it's not something you usually find in cadets. And then like, even if say you're not the top cadet in the area that you've decided to sign up for, you can come over here and be really awesome and show off other talents than just what we're expecting out of the courses. Even if you don't notice it the day after you learned the lesson, along the road you're going to realize that you learned and gained everything from cadets, and that's experience that you can't just get everywhere, and it would be like the best thing you ever do. It's really amazing stuff, in that I hope that more people get into it as years go by.
They're already sounding pretty good for being newbies, and I know they'll do an absolutely awesome job entertaining Cold Lake. When we come back, I get to sit down with Lieutenant Colonel Mobbs as he gets ready to step down after half a decade of leading the Cold Lake Cadets Summer Training Center.